Hi, Allison here. Hope you've had a good week and a half of crafting and stitching. And so to all you travel lovers who love to RV craft, here we go. So I kept my journal up, my travel stitch journal, and what we did for February 3rd through 9th. And we had our grandson the first couple of days, and then my husband, we were within an hour and a half of home, took Eli home, and I did my crafting goals. He said that I could have gone, but he was ready to rock and roll and got in the truck and went on home. We camped out at Vail Lake, which is outside of Temecula, which is the old school Southern California wine country. Murrieta Hot Springs is right near it, and people used to go down there for hot bath water treatments. I believe it's still there. And it's just grown so greatly in the last 20 years. Lots of communities have popped up around there. It just used to be wine, grapes, and a lot of horse people. And there still is that, but it's just so suburbia now. But back where we were on the outside fringes still of where it was. We got a really pretty good understanding for it on one of our walks. We ran into the president of the company. His grandfather built up the San Diego KOA in Chula Vista, and then this is their Vail Lake one, which they have a 60-year lease from the Rancho Water Company to do, and it's just gone through so many hands at trying to create a resort and then going bankrupt, and then it went up for auction again, he said, and in the early 2000s Rancho Water bought all that property, and I think it's 320 acres or 340 acres. It's what used to be Old Vail Ranch, cattle ranch, and Vail Ranch was massive, tens of thousands of acres. And the old ranch goes all the way to the back of what we know as Camp Pendleton Marine Corps Base off in San Diego area, between San Clemente and San Diego. They are using the property and building it up, and where there was like a dirt, nasty, potted road is now it's only been there a year, he said, a brand new asphalt road out to the lake. And we saw the lake, and we thought it was just in desperate times because of course our drought, but no, the Rancho doesn't want it as full as it was. Oh, and he also said that seals train back there, do their 24-hour survival in the grass out there. Pretty cool. So let's see, I took care of crafting my cotton cuts Piazza Team Unita di Italia, my orange quilt, and then of course I'm copying it and using my Napa batiks and making another from that pattern. I am also just starting the latest called Village Green, and I am Team Tulip. I don't know exactly why it's called Team Tulip, but this is block number 1. Got that all taken care of the other day. Looking forward to doing that. It'll go through November. I've been working on Sunbonnet Sue, a shower gift, which it's over on my sewing machine right now. I'm doing the binding. just put the label on so that I could make the binding cover a part of the label. I'm working on a fairy, which I need to finish for a birthday gift in the first week of March, and I don't want to show it on. My whip goes for February, which is, you can find information about Whip Go on Lisa Marie Does Stuff on Facebook. My 2 Whip Goes for this month are my Jane Austen sampler and my Hexadoodle floral Quilt As You Go. The only thing I haven't touched yet, which I still have plenty of February left, and my goal is to spend at least 2 4-hour periods, or a total of 8 hours with it. I have not touched my Hexadoodle floral yet. It's right over here in a bag on the floor. I'll get to it. Something I heard about on my Stitchy friend, Sarah Reed, talked about 725 project. 7 days a week for 25 minutes, and I have assigned my Abe Lincoln sampler to that. It is a twin peak primitives pattern. If you'd like more, I'll put in pictures of these things. And then we just felt so blessed and so relaxed out after the weekend was over and all the weekend warrior family went home. We were only one of 3 up on a plateau, and the other 2 were at the far end of the loop. It was just wonderful. We birded, we watched airplanes, and of course with my app I would find out what it was. A couple of them were mysterious. Not balloon in nature. And then I came home, and yesterday I had an appointment to follow up with my hysterectomy, and I am in March going to have 3 radiation treatments. It's not to treat a situation inside of me. It's to prevent anything from happening with the tissue that he sewed up inside. So I'm not looking forward to that, but I got to look at it positively. It's like, as Eric described it, it's like putting Neosporin on a cut to make sure it doesn't get infected. So I'm gonna take care of that. Okay, so now I'll share with you some of the video that I took out at Vail Lake, and maybe I'll even drop in a couple of the bits of history. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy it. See you next time. Our next camp out is in San Clemente in the middle of March for a couple of weeks. Maybe I'll do a couple with that one. Anyway, take good care. Thank you so much for viewing. Like and subscribe if you would, and see you next time. Welcome to Travel Stitch Journal 37, and I have plenty of aha moments. So here we go, out towards the Southern California area, and the view of San Gorgonio and San Jacinto were just beautiful. You might remember the San Jacinto tramway in the Mission Impossible episode, and then famously there is also the Pacific Crest Trail, the PCT, that goes through that area. February 3rd, California poppies along the freeway. Amazing. It was a beautiful travel day. Here we are, backed into our site, 195, at the Rincon Plateau at the KOA in Vail Lake. There's the schedule. We, of course, had to start the day out with miniature golf. Eric had 2 rounds with Eli, our grandson, and I had 1. It was wonderful. We then got in some lunch, and Eli took in birdhouse building. In the shop, Grandpa got him a couple of magic magnetic rocks and really pretty, beautiful gem style rocks. Back at the campsite, Eli played so hard with kids around our camp area. Off to the west, we could hear a PA system announcing like a sporting event. And so we took a walk and found that there was an awesome mountain biking competition going on. And not just their numbers, but their names, like they were celebrity mountain biker kids. These appeared to be older middle school, younger high school age students. Sunday morning came, beautiful sunrise, had to make some special pancakes. Eli gathered up his belongings and Grandpa got him in the truck to take him home as we promised on Sunday, late morning. Grandpa had promised him, I guess, shows on his phone, so he had that all taken care of. And Eric probably plugged in what was the most efficient way to get home, and off they went. That was Sunday morning, so of course our campground was not completely emptied out yet, but by Sunday afternoon, we were the only ones on that side, and then there were only two on that far side of the loop in the Rincon camp area. And there they go. And I thought, okay, so how am I going to use my day since I was left behind or chose not to go? What's in my travel stitch journal lineup? And of course, here's my cotton cuts and my extra piece that I am doing with Napa batiks. And I got going on it. Monday morning, Eric actually joined me on an electric bike ride. He went back over to where the mountain biking competition was to look at the course. It was pretty awesome, my goodness. And then we headed out over to the east side of the park to where the lake is. Looks like the lake should be way back over there.
Yeah. Haven't been back there in a while.
Okay. Huh. Over there, yeah.
It's too rhythmic.
How's the riding going, Johnson?
Fine, I'm out of breath.
Oh gosh, good. And there's our campground. And a vineyard over on the hill on the other side. Let it go. Other side. Early blooming yellow California wildflowers. We rode up to the plateau campground on the other side of the park and spotted our good old Flo. Or new Cougar Flo, as the case may be. I received a real quick little surprise from my one of my alumni, Isaac, who lives in Brooklyn, New York. I had just sent him this blue quilt, and he said that his best buddy absolutely loved it. I then got going on applique zigzagging my Sunbonnet Sue's down. I thank my son's fiancée, Brittany, for supplying us with this lovely lasagna, which I made up on Monday night. The review.
Excellent.
You sure?
Positive.
Okay. Camp Cook Allison out. As we take our walk here, I thought this would be a good time to tell you about the 4 parts of Temecula history. And of course, the first part, the very beginning, was Native American peoples, the Chumash, and they lived very communally, taking care of one another. So they would live with their elders, and they would assign jobs and responsibilities for age appropriateness, and looking after and caring for land, animal gathering for food preparation, and the gathering of wild vegetables. And similar foods are eaten today that were eaten back in the day. The second era of this Temecula area was the stagecoach era, with the famous Butterfield Stagecoach Trail, and it's still, parts of it are still in existence. It was the mail delivery for the West Coast to East Coast, basically from Chicago to San Francisco, and the line ran right through here. It was mail delivery as a primary function. From, if you lived in Boston, for example, and you wanted to get a letter to a friend in the Temecula, you would have to know someone who was traveling in that direction and hope that they would get it to them. Instead, John Butterfield made arrangements with the U.S. government to have this trail, and approximately every 14 to 22 miles, there would be a station. Read it, Johnson. This site
is a watering hole that was available for horses and mules of the Butterfield Overland Main Line, known to most as the Butterfield Stage. The main route for these mail-bearing stagecoaches closely followed the Temecula Creek, which is now covered by Vail Lake. The stage line, the precursor to the information superhighway, initiated communications across 2,000 miles of perpetuating desert and mountain wilderness, providing isolated wilderness Westerners with their
first regular
news and mail just prior to the Civil War. Founded by Henry Wells and William Fargo, the Butterfield obtained $600,000 in 1857 to start his company that prospered as the only stage link to the southern United States.
Awesome sauce. So he was saying that the hills are all kind of black dirt-ish.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody left their birdhouse. It's a little greeny, grimy.
Doesn't look like it's
like the gate's open, huh?
doesn't look like it's filling right now.
No.
The spring is running.
No, yeah. Where do you see it trickling? Oh, yeah. It's coming down in there.
So it looks like a history.
The third era of this Temecula Valley area was the Vail headquarters of the wolf era. And they're not talking about wolf like an animal. They're talking about it was somebody's last name from Germany, a gentleman called Louis Wolf. And he was known as an entrepreneur. He didn't make it real well during the California Gold Rush, but he and his wife, who was half Native American, started a store in this area. His wife was Ramona, and they started a general store that was very profitable and lasted for many years. Ramona is the name of a town that's over towards San Diego inland. The fourth era of Vail Ranch was the rancher who started up cattle ranching named Walter Vail. And he bought a ton of property that was previously owned by Louis and Ramona and all the other property in the whole Temecula Valley area. He had 87,500 acres, and that's when Vail Ranch went all the way towards what we now know as Camp Pendleton over the hill. There were so many jobs and so many ranching things to do out here. And then, of course, the final era that we know today is the suburban area that's just not too far, maybe 8 miles, not even 8, maybe 6 miles down the road towards housing development areas and good old Walmart. I went and got thread at Walmart. The other side of San Jacinto and San Gregorio, and just the prettiest view off towards the desert, kind of off where we were at Anza-Borrego. I laid out my Sunbonnet Sue, and then our last day, we just enjoyed and soaked up the sun after a good bike ride. It's a view of our beautiful flow from the Chardonnay campground. This is one of the Vail Ranch original adobe buildings, and here's the second one that is currently used as their pub. On our last bike ride there, I was so excited to find a hillside of poppies, and we really enjoyed it. And just to wrap up, we just had a really nice time, and here we are headed out where the canyon, where that resort is, and we're headed down into good old Temecula. We're not actually in Temecula proper right now, but we will be shortly. My top secret fairy cross stitch. And as we head back into town, off in the distance you can see hillsides with vineyards, and then in the valley right here there are farms and stables and good old horse people. We were very happy to see the name of the street, Butterfield Stage Road, right there. And that is just as we're headed back into Temecula. On the way home, we had just been out a week, and I was majorly just jaw-dropped to see so many poppies in just the week that we were out had sprung up. We are on the 15, and we're in the Lake Elsinore area. I don't know if you watch Bachelor, but where they do the parachute jumping, this is that area out there. It's all poppies right now. No lupins, which are purple, and buttercups, which are the yellow. I remember in my California history class in college, the Spaniards thought that the hillsides were on fire magically, and of course saw no smoke, so couldn't understand it. But when the poppies bloom, our California flower, it's just outrageous, as you can see. It's pretty special. In just the week that we were away, the snow-capped mountains were melting so fast, and as we were driving past Prado Dam, we could see that, boy, all that water running off the mountains was being collected into the catch basin behind Prado Dam. And that's Mount Baldy, or Mount San Antonio. It's 10,064 feet. and it is a mountain that we see on the regular from our home. And this is a pillow that I fashioned for my son from stuff on the kitchen counter from things that I brought home from Mom's. His birthday is the 12th. So I was editing and I realized that in all my trying to remember what I put in the trailer to RV stitch with, I had some haul, and my first haul was this quilt pattern. And then I was so excited to see this on my front porch this morning. May the Bluebird of Happiness always reside within you. And that is a Keepsakes of Cincinnati, Ohio, or Sharonville, Ohio's exclusive. It went with their retreat. And one other thing, oh, it's not here yet, but I did buy a really cool big graphic half square triangle kit from, yes, I was there. So yeah, love you guys. So that's my haul. Then I saw on one of the floss tubes I was watching, Book of Days, and I started this last year where I kept track of everything that I was doing. And of course, people love to put in stickers, and I kind of fell off the wagon there in the fall, or summer, and then back in on the fall, and go, go, go. And so that was 2022. And then, oh, you get a little bit of extra there, and some graph paper, I think, in the back to use. And then here I am with my good old Cotton Cuts pen, which I love so much, stuck inside. I did buy this in the fall from Keepsakes. And so there was January. I themed it birds. And there, of course, is February, and it's Disney princesses, of course. I've got some March stickers coming, and I'll be sure to put those in. Anyway, thanks. RV Stitch your brains out. Bye.